Good day everyone. Today I will be discussing a project that my team and I have been collaborating on over the past month. To give you some context, we are a group of CPUT students taking part in a multidisciplinary postgraduate diploma in design. I am Julia with a background in industrial design. There is Ellie from visual communications design, Logan from fashion design, and Lo from architecture. We have tackled this project using our diverse skill sets and are excited to share it with you. The goal of this project was to explore the biomimicry methodology while engaging with the environment. We achieved this by immersing ourselves in the natural and business ecosystem at Montebello over the period of a week. We were able to learn from nature and understand how to transfer the acquired knowledge into the context of design. Further to this, we were able to gain incredible insight into the inner workings of the business through observations and interviews. This process enabled us to identify potential design opportunities. We have since designed an intervention that has the potential to complement and add to the existing systems, infrastructure, and environment. Montebello is an NPO design centre situated in Newlands and is one of Cape Town's best-kept secrets. The business aims to nurture design, craft and entrepreneurship in South Africa. The property consists of 25 art and design studios, a restaurant, nursery and coffee shop, as well as a diverse group of tenants who make up Montebello. During our immersion week, we got the opportunity to take a deep dive into the different elements that make up Montebello. We used observations, interviews, and gigamapping to broaden our knowledge and insights. Gigamapping is a design technique that uses extensive mapping across multiple layers and scales to construct a rich picture of real-life complexity. Through this, we were able to recognize where the ecosystem is healthy and pinpoint where there is opportunity for us to add value as designers. I want to highlight what we identified as the strengths of Montebello. The first thing that we noticed was the element of nature, which promotes good mental health, resulting in increased productivity and creativity. The second strength that became evident was the diversity of Montebello tenants. This creates new business and networking opportunities, as well as an environment that encourages collaboration. It became apparent that the creativity and productivity of the tenants is increased due to being surrounded by like-minded individuals who share the similar values. Some other strengths that we noticed is that they have an active recycling system, there is good security, word-of-mouth marketing is effective despite it being limited to a specific demographic, and the customers can get a behind-the-scenes view of the creative process and how things are made. Now I'm going to talk about the opportunities that we identified in Montebello. To make it more manageable, we divided them into 4 categories: social, infrastructure, economic, and environment. In relation to social, we identified diversity as a strength of Montebello. However, that is in relation to the tenants. When we observed the clientele, we noticed that there was only one demographic in the vicinity, and it lacks diversity in that regard. Similarly, while the tenants share knowledge and skills with each other, that is not extended to the surrounding community. We also discovered that there is inadequate communication between management and tenants. The main challenges we identified in relation to the infrastructure include an absence of shelter from the rain, load shedding, which contributes to appliances breaking and influences perishable stock. And because the additional shop spaces are modular, there is a lack of disposal systems which prevents tenants in those spaces to discard oil, which has an effect on the tenant's ability to make and sell food. In addition to these challenges, there is an issue with parking. The bathrooms are substandard. There is poor wayfinding, which affects the exposure of the hidden tenants. There is limited infrastructure to support disabled clientele, and the user experience is affected by dull, visual, and interactive attractions. In terms of economic, we mentioned previously that there is a lack of diversity of clientele, but this is due to the high pricing of goods and entertainment and inadequate marketing. Challenges relating to the environment is that waste is difficult to manage and there is low value placed on preserving and learning from nature in relation to the clientele. In this project, we made use of the design thinking framework with specific reference to the double diamond model. The double diamond is a guide for understanding design problems and communicating solutions, and is used as a visual representation and guide for the design process. The first diamond represents the problem space, and the second diamond represents the solution space. The process is divided into 4 phases: discover, define, develop, and deliver. We left our immersion week with a lot of information and insight. At this point, we chose an opportunity which was quite broad and started framing the problem. We used the problem tree as a tool for defining a challenge by determining the cause and effect. The opportunity that we decided to explore was that there is exceptionally low diversity of clientele at Montebello, and learning from nature and acknowledging its value is not emphasized through Montebello's internal and external communication. This leads to the underutilization of byproducts created at Montebello, and there is a high cost of goods, services, and entertainment. We then determined that unaffordable prices, inadequate marketing, low value on learning from nature, not disability friendly, dull attractions, and limited external collaboration is what causes these challenges. The effect of this problem includes a low diversity of visitors, narrow cultural inspiration, the underutilization of grounds and knowledge, bad waste management, no meaningful exchanges of ideas across diverse cultures, learning less from nature, and high cost of products and entertainment. From that, we asked ourselves the 5 whys. This activity helps narrow down the problem until you get to the root of the issue. We then determine who our stakeholders are through stakeholder mapping, which is a process that defines the direct, indirect, and other stakeholders. The visitors at Montebello are the ones directly affected. Tenants, staff, and the Montebello environment are indirectly affected. And the other stakeholders affected are the surrounding businesses outside Montebello, family members of staff and tenants, shareholders of Montebello, and the region where Montebello is located at, just to mention a few. After going through these steps, we were able to frame the problem statement. Our problem statement is that there is extremely low diversity of clientele at Montebello because they have attractions that are targeted at a specific demographic. This demographic is in the immediate location of Montebello. Biomimicry, as defined by the Biomimicry Institute, is the practice that learns from and mimics the strategies found in nature to solve human design challenges and find hope. To do this, we use the platform called Ask Nature, a free and open field guide to the natural world, designed to draw your eye to what we can learn from nature and not just about it. To find a champion, an organism that does function very well, we had to identify a function. We problematized our search by using a how can question framework. How can questions were focused on actions and verbs that are related to creating an environment conducive for diversity and collaboration. A few samples of the questions we asked were: how can Montebello grow its diversity? How can Montebello create diversity? And how can Montebello protect diversity? The next step was to discover. Throughout our exploration, we found interesting organisms and functions that answered the opportunity that we had uncovered, such as ecosystem engineering or regenerative cyclical processes. But the organism that stood out as a champion was the mycorrhizal fungi and its resource distribution underground. The mycorrhizal fungi, the mycelium, acts like an internet network, but instead of moving electronic information around, they transport water and chemicals to keep the trees alive and communicating with each other. The oldest trees, which are often also the tallest and largest, are the hubs because they have the most connections running through them, and the nodes, which are the younger trees. The bigger trees have more access to sunlight and as a result produce more sugar. This excess resource is carried over to the other trees This establishes the mycelium network as a catalyst for exchange, communication, and growth across species in that entire ecosystem. The way we abstracted the biological strategy was to create an intervention that mimics the role of the mycelium network. Instead of moving resources from organism to organism, the intervention would move ideas from one entity to the next, enable those who may not have the ability to benefit from the legacy being created by Montebello, the intervention being the vehicle not only to pull in new demographic groups, but also propel Montebello forward through a symbiotic relationship. We brainstormed on what the intervention could look like, from a product-led approach to service and even system. Guided by Montebello's mission, the more successful idea was creating installation art, an art competition that would be running periodically. A loyalty program was a system-led solution we thought had potential. Gamifying the Montebello experience was an interesting way to encourage visitors to interact with each shop. Ultimately, evaluating ideas helped us settle on the installation art. The proposed intervention needed to align with Montebello's values and mission statement. It was important that we develop something that fits into the current ecosystem without creating negative disruptions. Learning from our natural champion, the mycelium network, we proposed an installation art competition that can promote diversity at Montebello. An intervention that aligns with Montebello's current outreach program, which aims to promote craft and design, as well as create exposure for the tenants at Montebello and other external creators who share the same values. We wanted to mimic the symbiotic relationship between trees and mycelium in our concept. The tree system provides sugar to the mycelium network, and the mycelium assists the trees in dispersing resources. Artists will benefit from Montebello, and Montebello will benefit from the artists. Our proposed intervention is an installation art competition called the Underground Canvas. The name is a play on the environment of tree roots, where the mycorrhizal fungi is found, but also underground as the opposite of mainstream, hitting at the desire to reach out to unconventional artists and ideas. Open to all creators, the event will happen twice a year. The core requirements include being interactive, promoting diversity, and having a practical function. Applicants are required to submit their designs into the competition. This consists of presenting a mood board with written rationale of their interpretation of the brief. This can be accompanied with visual references. The use of materials and construction, technical drawings, and a portfolio displaying previous work should also be present. The use of donated material and reclaimed material will guide the competition towards environmental sustainability and financial accessibility. The competition is open to all creatives from all disciplines. This includes visual arts, performance arts, and applied art. Examples of fields are fashion design, jewelry design, graphic design, poetry, industrial design, architecture, dance, and more. The submission form also includes a questionnaire with the following question: who inspires their work, a description of previous collaborative projects they have undertaken, the applicant's nationality, what they do for a living, where they see themselves in the future, who are their heroes and why, personal mottos, and skills they are proud of. These questions were inspired to lead the participants to think about the intrinsic and extrinsic nature of creative expression. After the winner is announced, they will have 2 months to refine their concept, 1 month to make adjustments based on feedback, and time to build and install the structure. The winner of the competition will display their work at Montebello over a 6-month period. 2 runner-ups will be chosen to collaborate in creating smaller-scale installations that will be displayed at 2 other locations around Cape Town, such as UCT or other key partners to Montebello. Each winner will be given access to mentorship and assistance to refine their ideas, as well as assistance when putting up the installation. A Facebook group will be created for the competition and will facilitate the collaborative process between the participating artists, the mentors, and helpers. The themes will be changing per edition, each edition being every 6 months, but will mainly be keywords around initiatives such as diversity, As a theme, this can be diversity of material, or colors, or shapes and forms. The open-ended nature of a theme will allow for creative opportunities. The prize given to the winners will include a collaboration with Design Indaba, specific discounts on Montebello selected vendors, and a trip abroad to Art Basel. Finally, the winner's work will be featured in publications such as Visi and Design. The installation art competition will be an opportunity for Montebello to create and strengthen partnerships with entities that have similar goal of nurturing dreams and growing creative solutions in Africa. This can take the form of sponsoring the exhibition event itself, supporting the artist, or building the installation. Montebello's digital platforms will be used as a key part of the intervention. The Instagram account can be a social hub used to share the ideas and creative solutions that are being created throughout the competition. This includes photos and videos of the artworks being created through thought-out leadership posts around art and crafts, and encouraging diversity and embracing collaboration. Social media would also be used for promoting the installation art competition. A small giveaway post would accompany each call to submission. The audience on social media can get a chance to win the giveaway hamper package by liking and sharing the competition announcement to their network. This can run for the first couple of editions to raise awareness of the competition, without being a financial burden on Montebello. Each edition will accumulate into an exhibition opening event party, where media and general public is invited and the artists can verbally share their interpretation of the brief with the visitors. This ultimately grows the Montebello community around art and craft and nurturing dreams and creative solutions. When thinking about the competition's branding, it seemed appropriate to go with a minimalist approach, a blank canvas that could hold and adapt to any theme. This will allow the artist's work to fully take center stage without sacrificing recognition. This would all live under the umbrella of the Montebello visual identity. The biomimicry life's principles encompass a collection of 26 strategies utilized by organisms and ecosystems worldwide to foster life-supporting conditions. These principles serve as innovation guidelines that bring benefit to any organization or design, irrespective of its focus on sustainability. In forming the ethos and measure components of biomimicry, the life principles act as a versatile tool for generating ideas and assessing their viability. We sought to measure the arts installation's performance against the 26 strategies of the biomimicry life's principles. Let's see how our intervention aligns with nature's wisdom. The first category is adapt to changing conditions, and this encompasses the incorporation of diversity through competition events and outreach, maintaining integrity through self-renewal as the art installation changes twice a year, and the intervention also embodies resilience through variation of theme, making the competition timeless. Next is be locally attuned and responsive. This includes leveraging cyclic processes, as the competition will create a cycle as being presented twice a year, and the material used or created can be reused for the next edition. The use of readily available materials and energy by people bringing and donating recycled and excess material to be used in the installation. The use of feedback loops through social media, and cultivating cooperative relationships between Montebello and creators, and between creatives and creatives. Next is be resource efficient. This is in relation to material and energy, which we have incorporated in our competition brief, including the following principles as requirements from the participants: the use of multifunctional design, the need to recycle all materials, and fit form to function. The following strategies have also been found in our intervention: integrate development with growth, which includes building from the bottom up and combining modular and nested components, and evolving to survive, which includes replicating strategies that work and reshuffling information. In conclusion, our project aimed to explore biomimicry and engage with the environment at Montebello. Through observations and interviews, we found strengths and opportunities for improvement. Using the biomimicry method, we focused on creating a diverse community by emulating the symbiotic relationship between trees and mycelium. Our proposed intervention is an installation art competition that aligns with Montebello's values and missions. It will promote collaboration, diversity, and creative expression while addressing the lack of diverse clientele. The competition will display the winning artwork at Montebello and smaller installations around Cape Town, fostering connections and displaying creativity. By measuring our intervention against life's principles, we ensure its adaptability, local responsiveness, resource efficiency, and integration with growth. Through this project, we aim to contribute to the vibrant and inclusive ecosystem at Montebello. The installation art competition can be more than just creating an artifact, but the ethos that drives it. It is about creating a movement, creating a culture of people who value collaboration, diversity, and creative expression.